St Andrews in the east coast of Scotland is a place with a lot of lobsters. In this video I'm not going to catch any, I'm not going to photograph them, I'm just going to make a little video to show you how many there are and how you go about finding them, the kind of places they live. So this is typical, it's fairly murky, the vis is pretty low, this is the best we've had all year, but it's pretty poor, but we'll make do. So throughout this video I'm going to have a little lobsterometer in the corner, just keeping track of the lobsters as I see them. No size, just whatever we see. So generally in St Andrews they live quite close to the shoreline because there's these volcanic rocks which create shelves in amongst the kelp and lots of boulders. If you go a bit further out there's just a sandy bottom, so it's pretty easy to find the lobsters because they're all along the shoreline. You don't have to go too deep. You just find where the kelp forest is growing, and where they attach to the rocks you're usually pretty good to go. So I find them by free diving. It's not very deep, it's only sort of 3-4 meters at the most. You go down into the bottom of the kelp forest. It's pretty cool down there. The further away from the beach, you can see here already the vis is starting to get a bit better. Then we're looking under things like this. And there's our first lobster, one little tiny Larry. Not a very big one. And right up here is another one. Sorry for the terrible filming, I had a light underneath the GoPro. That's 2 lobsters in pretty quick succession. Just getting started. When you're hunting them you need to sort of hook them out using a stick. There's another one. This one looks a bit bigger. You see how they pile the sand in front of their hole? That's a dead giveaway. So if you're swimming along you're looking for piles of broken shells and sand, because as the lobster sits in its hole eating, it shoves all the detritus out from after its last meal, and that makes them pretty easy to find. We're just skirting along the rock edge here, dive down to a bit of a deeper level. You see all these shelves and the lobsters tuck in amongst them. That's a dead man's fingers, that's a kind of coral that we get around here. It's quite relaxing doing this. Fairly tiring, but kind of peaceful nonetheless. This red seaweed's quite pretty. Looks a bit like coral, but it is just seaweed. More of these shells. See behind me there, it's just sand, and that's it all the way out now, sand. So you just focus on this coastal fringe to find all the lobsters. There's little squat lobsters you see. Nobody home. That was usually a good little shelf, that one. Notice there's no fish. There you go, see all the sand pushed out in front of his hole, a few empty shells. That's another little small one. That wouldn't be a keepable size, that one. Needs to be 10 mil. But then look at this. In that hole there, behind that squat lobster, there's a big old lobster in there. You can just see its claw moving past. Say 10 mil, it needs to be 10 centimeters the length of the carapace to be a keeper. I think legally it's actually a bit smaller than that, but generally 10 centimeters is good form. There's another one. Hard to see what size that is because all you're really seeing is its wee elbow tucked into the crack there. And also if the shell is soft it means the lobster's recently molted, so you put them back. And also if the lobster has eggs hanging under it, they're all fertilised eggs, so it's thousands of baby lobsters, so you put that one back as well. Here's another little tiny one. Looks like an old shell though. Here's a brown crab. They're delicious, they are. And another lobster right next door. What are we on, 8 so far? Sea urchin munching on the kelp. Looks like it's got something wrong with it. Just cruising through the kelps. Getting steadily further and further away from the shore. Usually what I do is I work my way away from the beach, and then when I'm done I just take one big long swim back. This looks like a good spot. Look at all those ledges. It's like a high-rise luxury condo for lobsters. That's a nice one. It's quite far out as well. I think I caught him out. I think he doesn't like the hole he's in. He doesn't feel safe. And look, right above it's an even better one. That's a nice one, but he's got somewhere to retreat, you see. This guy needs to get his bum into a different hole so that he can get a bit further back. Those two have been easy to catch. That's a handsome dinner for two right there. There's another one. That looks like a good lobster as well. Decent size, that. Get a long stick in behind, tap it on the back, it'll come running out. This one's got damage on its claws. And barnacles on it. Again, that shows the shell is old, which means the animal inside is extra meaty and really packed in there. Always want the older, crusty looking shells. And there's another one, lobster number 13. Been diving for about 45 minutes at this point, and that's 13 lobsters. One nice big brown crab, loads of other little things, but absolutely no fish. Anyway folks, that's a little look at lobstering in St Andrews. And no lobsters were harmed in the making of this video.